This is so tough. Yeah, but we'll be remembered forever. This must have been made by alien gods. Not a single cell phone in sight, just people living in the moment. I study German history, especially German military history. Wow, you must be so smart and cultured. Spain is a spectrum, having beautiful women, experiencing a civil war once every 80 years. Britain before being saved by Churchill. Britain after being saved by Churchill. A crisis situation that can be understood even without knowing Egyptian hieroglyphs. Inside you there are two Greeks. One is from Sparta, one is from Athens. Both are gay. Europe, babe, it's time for another coalition against Napoleon. Yes, Britain. Portuguese colonizing versus British colonizing. Your final challenge. Let your bear go through your clay tablet. Hell nah, you're tweaking. How it feels when the gang discovers that bro's excuse about not going out was a lie. Space is vastly unexplored and most likely not civilized. Great Britain. In 2 million years, you'll be pooping in a box of gravel. You'll clean it up. The Wi-Fi password is on the back of the router. The back of the router. People. 2020 sucks. Why can't we live in simpler times? Simpler times? In 1910, there was a US baseball team made up of death row inmates whose execution dates were delayed as long as they were winning. Clutch or kick? No, you can't just execute everyone in the country who disagrees with you. Blade go fast. Imagine wearing leaves on your head. This post was made by Onion Gang. Notre Dame Cathedral is on fire. Library of Alexandria. First time? Britain, watching as the funny lines they drew 100 years ago turns into a war zone once again. Trade offer. I receive $15 million. You receive 828,000 square miles of land. Becoming interested in history. Typical history nerd. Political extremist online edgelord. Japan mid-1900s. World domination at all costs after 1970. Witches aren't real. Witches are real, and they work with the devil and do spells. It's all in this book. Witches aren't real. The helmet of Henry II of France, 1555. I can clearly understand why these people were always fighting wars. You can't have a fit like this at home and not be looking for an opportunity to wear it so that you can aura farm. Flies are annoying. How can I focus on ruling Egypt? What should we do? The pharaoh's servants, drenched in honey, attracting the flies. Who would win? Hard to open knot, with a legend that the one who opens it will become the king of Asia. One boy with a sharp metal stick. The strongest Praetorian Guard member. Here's your 10th raise of the month. Not enough. Give us another or we'll find someone who will. Weakest Varangian Guard member. I can't afford to pay you this year. That's fine. Just tell me how to serve. The 13th century Crusa Duma. Acre has fallen. The infighting never ends. Some nomads are messing things up in the east. European kings aren't doing anything to help. How levies felt going into the bloodiest war imaginable with nothing but a spear and a helmet. I started my multi-billion-dollar company in my parents' garage. Parents' garage? Okay guys, we need to put sandals on the ground here when you haven't had a civil war in 80 years. Modern day simps. Look, my favorite e-girl just dropped some new bath water. Now I must get a whole supply. Ancient time simps. Alright, that should be enough sweat and blood gathered from these gladiators. With this, I shall be the most beautiful women in all of— Wait, women were doing this? Military uniforms in 2025 versus 1225. We need camo to avoid getting spotted. Come at me, I have drip. List of wars involving Sweden and Denmark, and you can help by expanding it. Savages. Ooga booga. Civilized explorers. Ooga booga but Odin. The nobility of literally every nation. Cavalry is good the way it is. Swedes in the 1700s. Moose. Moose time. I love honey, but you know what I don't love? The British. Screw you. We don't like your kind, even though we both look the same. Armenian militer with an unknown device. Pulling up on my ops with the unknown device. I'm the Roman Emperor. No, I'm the Roman Emperor. Norway. We want to be independent. Okay. Singapore, Malaysia. It's so nice to be a part of Get the hell out. In World War I, around 8 million horses died, but in World War II it was under 1 million, which can only mean horses started to evolve bullet resistance. I could convince Joe Rogan that this is real. I think if Elon Musk told Joe Rogan this, he would believe him. Bulgarians in Greece, 681 AC, 2025. When thinking about when France used the guillotine for execution, also France in 1977. Hype for the next Star Wars? Gotta be wild. When you advance a mile and lose 25,000 men. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Trojans, when the wooden horse starts speaking Greek. How beautiful is it to find someone who asks for nothing but your company? Give me your company. Want to learn something sad? Sure. Things like the 80% of Leonardo da Vinci's greatest work, the most detailed history of Rome, and more are lost to history. Bro, being ghosted today. Bro, my girlfriend left me on red for 3 days. It's over. Being ghosted in the 18th century. I am now under the greatest anxiety and suspense, not knowing whether do I write to the dead or the living, not having heard the least syllable from you for the last 4 months? Ancient Greeks to a literally identical city-state 5 miles away from theirs. Screw you, we don't like your kind. The boss when you're fighting him. The boss when you get him as a playable character. When you warn your country about the dangers of a two-party system, but the citizens and their descendants don't listen. Oh bother, said Pooh, as he chambered another round. Everyone wants to be Poland. Monaco, Indonesia, Singapore, Utrecht, Hesse, what the hell? Didn't even know these were countries. For Austria, Vienna, Salzburg, Tyrol. Sounds like a drug. Trees are scary. I know. Fellas, if your girl controls the spice trade and hates the Portuguese, then that's not your girl. That's the Dutch. I lied. There is no Disney Plus. Time to discuss Caesar's campaigns in Gaul. Before you read, some atoms share electrons and become more stable. Describe a situation in which people share something and everyone benefits. Communism. The kid. Who would win? 1500 years of tradition. A single meme post. All hope is lost. The Mongols will soon take the city, so I'm abdicating my throne. Fine, I'll take the throne and rally the city's defenses. I will not be the last emperor of the Jin dynasty. At last, the city is ours and the Jin dynasty dies today. It's been 6 hours. So I just burned down your village. Here's why. You attacked my country 500 years ago. Probably. There is a slave shortage in Rome. Your women called me short and icky. You are barbaric. I am civilized. Vae victus. Russians that Americans are afraid of versus Americans that Russians are afraid of. 16 independent states. What if every German state became independent? Say like right now. They don't know I'm full of Greek soldiers. Swedish colonial empire. You know, I'm something of a colonizer myself. Who was the real hero of World War II? Truman. Winston Churchill. Removed. Well, their whole account got banned. I wonder what name they said. 8 France, 8 Burgundy, 8 crossbows, 8 cavalry. Love me England, love me longbows, love me knights. Simple as, Big Henry. Tea sinks in water. Wait for nightfall. Dress as a Mohawk Indian. Dump 46 tons of tea into the Boston Harbor. Canadians. Ugh, Americans are so fat. They eat so many burgers, especially fries. Chef. Puts gravy and cheese curds on fries. Canadians. Random inorganic matter. 3.7 billion years ago. I live. Every time a foreign power tried to invade Russia during the winter, Rasputin didn't die. He just took out Ras from his name. Vlad the Impaler discovers marshmallows. Well, these are great. Nobody. Habsburgs. New energy source. This tiny moon circling Saturn has more oil and gas than Earth. Knock knock. It's the United States. When you are a prince and you hear about your father's death. Undefeated since 1776. Laughs in Canadian. 40,000 plus Japanese seeking refuge in a patch of land near the river as the earthquake rages around them. 300-foot tall fire NATO going right at them. How cigarette companies felt in 1950. In the 1950s, after getting everyone addicted before scientists proved it's cancerous. In fact, weren't scientists promoting it? They were like, this is good for your health. 1789, 1806. Damn, you really live like this? Napoleon, Holy Roman Empire. Oh boy, this is so exciting. Dropping behind enemy lines. I can't wait to stick it to Jerry. Oh geez, Sarge. Looks like Private Wesley didn't make it. Damn, that was his first jump. Tea, China. Swapping out the tea for opium. How would you even defeat this? Hey, idiot, take this grenade. I've read this before. The Western and Eastern Roman Empire died fighting alongside each other. World War I. Equipment, strategy, strength. World War II allies. Intelligence, manpower, industry. Surrender. Gregory. You can't negotiate with the heathens. Fight for the Lord. Frederick. 10 years access to Jerusalem without a single drop of blood. Those Muslims are chill as hell. The Normans were French. We conquered England. Yeah, England belongs to France. The Normans in reality had recent Viking roots, had a seafaring culture, much like their Norse ancestors, and a lot more. Chinese history be like, the Wang Dong disagreement. 300 million dead, 4 species extinct. And it's like, what? How did I never know about this? Nikola Tesla's life be like, burn through savings on a project. Project fail or is stolen. Burn through savings on a project. You can drive 14 hours without leaving Germany. Britain in British history books. Britain in most of the world's history books. Britain in Irish history books. A pragmatic approach to business. No checks? Checks welcome. Soviet officer. Slaps roof of grain silo. We can fit so much grain in this bad boy, but we won't. Any Catholics online? I got some questions. Yeah, I'm Catholic. What's up? How do I reach heaven through violence? It's called a crusade and you need to get permission from the Pope first. There are no more borders in the European Union. However, you will always know where the Netherlands begins. Kaiser Wilhelm II has banned Labubu in all Reichspakt member states. He said, "It is not a Prussian value, but a syndicalist degeneracy. Your thoughts on this? Political analysis by an expert from a prestigious Western university. Political analysis by a cab driver from a third world country. 3 a.m. in 2014, 2018, 2025, 2030. France and French history books. France and African and Asian history books. France and the rest of the world's history books. Me. Wow, it's 2 a.m. Better get some sleep. 5 minutes later. Bologna. The history. I used to think this said Bologna. I did not know Bologna was spelt like this. Women with time traveling. I'm your granddaughter. Aw, really? Men, don't worry, my king. We came to save your empire. You'll need many of these. Thanks, kind strangers. Roman Empire. Holy Roman Empire. When you're chilling inside your bunker and you see some weird-looking boats coming towards you. Napoleon. Napoleoff. I wonder how these backsliding cowards will commemorate me. It's an arson locomotive. All warfare is based. Do you think they asked him to pose like this, or he just did that? Stonk. A concentrated artillery bombardment. No, you can't just be a tree. Descartes explaining why he exists. I think. Kitty history. It's exactly like ours. The least funny gag in film history. Screw you. And yet the immediate follow-up is the funniest gag. Mining, pesticides, RM, radioactive, the deadliest virus in history. Minecraft, history of travel. Pioneers used to ride these baby for miles. Old guy. Can I get a discount? I served in World War II. Yes, sir, of course. Danke. Everyone in the store. Me and bro after a slight disagreement. When you grow up, people stop asking you what your favorite medieval blunt weapon is. They don't even care. Flail. Iran history be like, I think it wasn't a good idea to fight against the Roman Empire for 700 years. I think it wasn't a good idea to fight against Abbasid Caliphate for 234 years. What about Russia for 177? Ottoman Empire for 309. I was born in the wrong generation. Claims it has Balkan culture and values. Invents democracy. No one. Medieval Spain. Your village is being raided. Kramer, what's going on in there? Nay requests infantry, Jerry. Never ask a woman her age, a man his salary. Americans, why Oklahoma has such a large Native American population. We were the second largest country in Europe. Austria-Hungary till 1918. Please don't confuse us with Australia. Austria now. The bubonic plague was kind of awkward. Americans in 1776. We defeated the British Empire. 2020. Players let me eat TGI Fridays. 17-year-olds in 1945, thinking that they won't have to go to war. The same guy, 5 years later in Korea. California hell, constantly on fire, place of sin, high housing costs. 1,000 British troops rushing into no man's land. 1 German machine gunner. I'll name my son Charles. How original. Or Lewis. Daring today, aren't we? Russia, when they sell Alaska for 7.2 million. Making a big boy purchase tomorrow. Thomas Jefferson, the night before the Louisiana Purchase. 1803. White men can't understand what it's like to be under attack. What about D-Day? Learning about the age at which Alexander began his conquest. It's over. I wasted my life. He started at 22. Learning about the age at which Caesar began. 42. We're just getting started. It's just some photos I took earlier today because I'm in Cyprus right now. I'm not sure what that says in translation if anyone knows, but take home a piece of Mexico, the US in 1846. Don't mind if I do. Camus. Imagine Sisyphus happy. Kafka. Imagine there's a queue for the rock and you're behind Sisyphus waiting for your turn. Christians. To justify their actions, French leaders of the Crusade claimed they were taking their revenge against Greeks for the fall of their ancient Trojan homeland. What did we ever do to you? This is for Troy. Hearing that his mother was ill, Stalin visited her for the final time on October 17th, 1935. According to an unpublished memoir, they had a short discussion about Stalin's position. Mama, do you remember our Tsar? Well, I'm something like the Tsar. To which she replied, you'd have done better to become a priest.